I'm Fern Roberts, and I decided that I wanted to know more about horse racing and the controversy of it. So I met up with Guy Lewis, a former jockey and now judge, to spend a day behind the scenes at Chepstow races. Here's what he had to say about being a jockey and the horse racing industry currently. So, as a jockey, did you ever ride your own horse, or was it always racing someone else's horse for them?
So I started off when I was 16 years old, and I was riding my parents' horses. They used to train some pointers for other people. So we had a couple of our own horses, but horses for other people. So they used to train those. I was very fortunate because at 16 I rode in points and managed to ride 7 or 8 winners in the first year, which made me novice champion point jockey. And so having that exposure as a 16-year-old, by the time I was 17, 18, my career was on the up.
Yeah.
So I was very lucky to have that fortunate first 2 or 3 years an exposure, and with success, that my career sort of took off at a very early age. So I was an amateur for the first 2 years, and at 18 I was that successful that I went and turned professional. So then, from being an amateur, an unpaid amateur, by the time I was 18, 19 years old, I was getting paid and was fortunate to ride some really good horses.
As you said, you had been in the Grand National. Were they ever a bit wary about your height, because you are quite tall?
Yeah, well, weight is another issue with being a jockey. The flat jockeys, obviously, are that much smaller, and their average weight can be around 7.5 stone to 8.5 stone. But that's for flat. But the weights are lower for flat race jockeys. But for jump jockeys, the minimum weight is 10 stone to 12 stone. So the weight for a jump jockey is about 10 stone. So I used to keep my weight to around 10 stone or less. But it was a struggle, and it meant plenty of nights in the sauna. It meant plenty of days not eating and drinking, and that is a big obstacle for any jockey.
So personally, I don't know a lot about horse racing and stuff, but I know there's a lot of controversy online and through social media about pros and cons of it.
Well, there's a lot of, horse racing's been going on for centuries and centuries, since 2 people had 2 horses and wanted to race against each other, simply for a simple bet. But that's the main reason that the horse racing industry evolves around, is the betting industry. So there's numerous bookmakers out there, high street bookmakers, online bookmakers that make money. The general public like to gamble on numerous different sports, whether it be rugby, football, cricket, horse racing. So that's the main reason that horse racing exists.
Can you actually tell whether the horse enjoys racing?
Yeah, I mean, with the welfare of any racehorse or horse in general, they can get health issues just like ourselves. They can get viruses. So when a horse is under the weather, generally most of these trainers can see. The horse can tell you whether they're not feeling great, and on the other hand, they can tell you when they're feeling great. And so when they're feeling great is when you run the horses, and when they do start running badly, when they've shown form beforehand, that's generally when there's a virus or something that's not gone right. But the welfare of the racehorse is key to most trainers, that they want to have them in the peak form. They're well looked after, probably more so than any other horse in any other industry. The racehorse is kept so well you wouldn't believe.
So over the past couple of years, the prize money has been pretty low. What is the health at the moment of the horse racing industry?
So the prize money has been criticised over a number of years, over the last few years. But the betting industry has more than quadrupled since the arrival of the internet. So there's a lot more betting, and people are getting involved with the betting industry has quadrupled. And for that reason, that is very healthy. The owner of the racehorse, and they're the ones that really run the racing show, is that the owner of a racehorse, they're the ones that are ploughing the money into the horse racing industry. There's a lot more syndicates happening over the last number of years, so that majority of people can get involved that can finance the expense of running a racehorse, and it is one of those things that it is happening, and the health of the racing industry is being enhanced through the betting industry. So basically the British Horse Racing Authority is trying to pull money off the betting industry to make the prize money bigger.
So you don't think it's going anywhere anytime soon?
No, horse racing will be around for years and years to come, and hopefully it'll just get bigger and bigger and better.